obviously, you said the other day, you needed to improve on these things, and a win would be nice. But what's the thought process after this? Where do you see this team now? Another loss, but a better performance, I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we can't take steps backwards. I mean, we're I think making some strides in the right direction, but as I told him, it'd be the biggest travesty if we take another step backwards in terms of our progress. I thought in the 2 days of preparation we had coming into this game, guys did a really good job of understanding what we were trying to do. Give Virginia credit. I mean, they made some incredible shots when they had to. And, I thought that we played with more intensity. I thought we played with more intelligence. Now, we've still got a ways to go in the intelligent, just not intelligence, but just understanding. We probably executed better tonight than we have, but, we made some mistakes, things that like, hey, this is coming, and we give up a three, and those are the things we gotta continue to get corrected. No, I thought that the shots that we got there were good shots. There was a method to what we were trying to do, and when you play against a team defensively like Virginia, where they just load everything in, the drives, the kicks, are the shots that are going to be there, and that was just a stretch that they want to go in, and we probably didn't do as good a job as we needed at the end of the shot clock. We knew the shot clock was coming in. We had a couple actions we were trying to run, but we were a little bit slow to get to them. First half, we were pretty effective with them.
Coach Bennett came in here and talked about the value of his seniors and the veteran nature of his team. Is this the kind of game that you can show this film to your team and say, well, look at how these guys executed this? Is there a learning?
Yeah, no question. I mean, those guys reminded me tonight of a few years ago in here of Kansas, and we were playing Kansas right before Christmas, and I remember we got down and we went on like a 9-0 run, got the lead, and I still talk about it with teams. The Kansas players they had those, I think, 3 fifth-year seniors, a senior, and McLemore was a redshirt freshman, and they kind of looked at me and said, like, no, we're not going to get rattled. And I think Virginia was sort of like that tonight. They never panicked. And like I said, they made big plays down the stretch.
Thad, your offense was a lot better in the second half. Seemed like a lot more aggressive, and also you came out shooting a lot of threes. Are you still trying to figure out what this team is? I mean, is it a 3-point shooting team? Maybe is that maybe your best offense, or
no,
do you know yet?
I think this we know. We've got a pretty good understanding what we are, but you go back to Friday night's game where we were posting our guards. Tonight they were doubling the post, and which lent itself to sort of the 3-point shot, because they were committing, and we want to get the ball out of the double team, get it to the other side, and it was either going to be a shot or a drive, and they closed out short on us, and that was kind of what was there.
Thad, you guys, it's happened in other games too, but today you had several possessions where you could have maybe tied it, taken a lead, just big kind of crucial possessions where there was a turnover or you guys didn't get the best look. What are you sensing from your guys when they get into those situations where they need to get a bucket to tie the game or take a lead or something like that? Do you sense any panic, or just guys still trying to figure out what the best thing is to do in those situations?
I don't know. Back to Bob's question, that one I don't know the answer to. I say that from the standpoint of those are the plays. You look at this team, and just how few of plays we are from turning the corner, and some of the things that have happened to us. I've never seen before. I mean, like, that game the other night, like, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, like, it just doesn't happen. And, it's kind of like, tonight we had 2 rebounds that we lost out of bounds with 2 guys kind of fighting over the basketball. You guys can go home and watch every game on TV tonight, and you're not going to see that. Those are, and I talked about it yesterday, we've got to find a way to make our own luck in terms of that. But, I think these guys are making strides. And as I said, my whole goal is just to try to build and keep getting better.
That you mentioned, you mentioned they doubled the post. Was that something that they showed on film, or was that?
Yeah, they've done it every
Okay,
game.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Brogdon obviously had a good night for them. He's a really difficult matchup for anybody. You guys seem to try a couple of different people on him. Maybe Cato might have looked the best. How much are you guys lacking maybe a lockdown defender on the perimeter right now?
I think that, it's funny you ask that, because, number one, that kid is one of the best players I've seen, because he's so patient, he's so smooth, and he's so efficient when he plays, and we'd seen that coming in. He was coming off a huge game the other night against Lehigh, and when he made his first couple shots, I was like, oh boy, here we go, But I think that's one of the things that I've seen. You miss an Aaron Kraft, you miss a Sam Thompson, guys that you say, hey, I don't want him to score anymore, and nobody on this team has been in that position for us. But it is what it is, and that's why the component of team defense is so important to us, because we don't have that guy that's thinking, hey, my job is to just lock down and defend. Can we get there? Who's that guy going to be? I don't know. I mean, I think that we're starting to show strides. I thought our overall team defense, I mean, I don't know what they got, 64, and they were averaging 82 or whatever it was. I thought we were much more effective defensively tonight. But, having that lockdown defender is something that is something that we've got to try to come up with.
I think your 3 veteran players had 46 of your 58 points. What can you do to maybe spread the load and set some of those younger guys up with, I don't know, easier looks or whatever you can do to get them going, I guess?
I think Jaquan didn't shoot the ball particularly well tonight. Thought he had some pretty decent looks. This is one of those teams where, on Saturday, if you put a gun to my head and said, hey, who's going to be your leading scorer, I don't know. But I think from that perspective, it's kind of a good thing. Where Jaquan had a pretty good game the other night. What we got to get to is where everybody is sort of hitting their stride every time we take the floor.
You mentioned yesterday, about participation trophies, and it's you don't get one just for being in there. We got to find a way to win games. So I'm just wondering how you come out of this, because it seemed like a step forward, but
Right.
it's another loss. So I don't know. Are you encouraged sitting there, or discouraged because it's another loss, or how do you take out of this?
Well, a little bit of both. I thought that we competed more tonight. We had more of a purpose to what we were trying to get accomplished in terms of, as I said, just what Virginia was trying to do and what we were trying to take away. But it's funny. Every time we made the mistake, we didn't turn our head and we got clipped. It was a bucket. Told a guy going in the game, like, do not let the guy catch the ball on the inbounds play, and we give up a 3. Those are the things we got to get corrected. Those are the things that we have to understand. The small things are making just a huge difference for us.
You've coached a lot of teams. Have you ever been in this kind of a situation before, where you're it's early in the season, you're losing these games, you've got so many new players, you're kind of,
Mm-hmm.
slashing around there trying to figure. You said you don't know who's going to be who's going to be the scorer. You don't know who your lockdown defensive guy is. Is this like a totally new situation for you, or is this?
I've been. You do this long enough. You've been in a lot of different situation. I've been 0-7 before as an assistant at Western Carolina, and the team hit its stride. I think the funny thing for me is, obviously it's been a long week and a half, but with that said, the focus is just so much on our guys in terms of how we're able to make them better. I saw offensive execution tonight that I hadn't seen before. That was a huge priority coming into the game that we were going to have to do. I think that what I'm trying to get with this basketball team is there's a few certainties, and hopefully we find those certainties sooner than later, and because that's where you can start building to get better.
Dad, you talked about small things. Under that headline, would being late in a game where you might want to foul and not realizing the coaching staff is calling for that be something that a little more awareness?
Something like that. And we fouled the other night when I didn't want to foul. So it's those are the little things of kind of thinking the game and but what's difficult is there's so many things we got to get better at, and to take 10 minutes to work on fouling is not something we have time to do right now. We're still working on the passing, catching aspects of the game.